Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the kitchen. Today, I'm going to be making Baba Ganoush. My friend has an outdoor classroom at her school. And during this time when the kids haven't been coming back to tend the garden, she's been tending the garden for them. And she grew eggplant this year to teach kids about eggplant, and her eggplants are doing really well. Okay, so what I have for you today is about 2 pounds of eggplant, which I'm gonna blister on the cast iron here in just a minute. And I'm gonna mince up 3 cloves of garlic. I've got about a half a teaspoon of ground cumin. This is tahini oil, and it is a 1/4 cup of tahini oil. Tahini oil is sesame butter, kind of like peanut butter, but with sesame, and this is the variety that we're using. And then I've got some extra virgin olive oil here, and that's about 1/3 cup of extra virgin olive oil. Then I've got some lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. I don't currently have any fresh lemons right now, so I'm just using real lemon. And I also have, of course, the extra virgin olive oil. Then I've got some parsley flakes that I'm going to use, salt, and also I've got a little paprika that I'm going to use there. And now I've got my cast iron. I'm going to go ahead and get my stove turned on. Got a little gas stove here. Putting it on medium. I want to go ahead and get the cast iron hot. I'm going to take my bowl of eggplant and put a little bit of olive oil in there, extra olive oil, just to make sure that all of my eggplant is covered with some oil. These things blistered. You can see I'm going to get them all nice and blistered. Got it? Okay, here we go. We'll get them all in here. So basically I want to leave them on one side and let them just get really hot and blistered on one side. And then I'm going to turn them over and let them get really hot and blistered. And then I want to make sure that everything on the inside is nice and cooked all the way through. You can hear it sizzling right now. And we're going to get these eggplant nice and cooked and all nice and roasty and smoked. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit now that I'm starting to get some fire on there. So while these are really starting to get good and crisping, I'm going to go ahead and put my top on. And that way I can let them cook inside for a bit while they're blistering. The inside is really cooking down. Next to my stove, I have my little crock pots with some of my utensils. And I'm going to go ahead and pull out some tongs. So I can use these and just kind of give a check, see what's going on here. And see that it's actually getting blistered. So I want to give them a little toss. This one will be really good because it's nice and fresh. You see that? Yeah, that's good. You can see it's real nice and clean. Some of those were already blistered from the sun in Texas. All right, you see? And that's the goal, getting these all nice and blistered. Squeeze around on them. They've been in here for, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. They were on hot, they were blistering, but I want to make sure that I'm getting the inside of them cooked. And like this one definitely is done. See how that one is already? So I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, that one's done. Let's get back on here. So that's how it works. I mean, let's back up a little bit. Let's see more heat get on there. So once I get them real smushy and blistered, I can start throwing them in here. And I do want to let them cool off and cooked on all sides. Like this one's bursting open already. So I'm going to let it cook just a little bit longer on the other side. And so they'll start to burst open. I think this one's probably done. Put that lid back on there just for a few more minutes. So it's been a lot of fun to be able to share a lot of different types of produce with friends and family members, and that are growing all kinds of vegetables, and be able to share that. So it's nice to be able to welcome something else in and then put it to good use in my home, because I know a lot of people don't use eggplant, and so This is a way for me to teach people, okay, we grow eggplant really well in our part of Texas. In Zone 9B in South Texas, we grow a lot of good eggplant. So what can we do with it? And this is one of those really good recipes. And I'm really enjoying the idea of me being able to make like different kinds of dips and things like that. This time of year, I get into a place where I'm looking for some really salty, good snacks. And so this is a great way to make salty, good snacks, because I've got this good, fresh, delicious stuff that is meaning that savory flavor that I'm looking for. So, all right, let me give it another test again. All right, so like this one is definitely soft enough. I'm gonna throw that one in there. Give all these another toss. It's really good to give them a good toss so that they're cooking and crispy. The more that they roast and kind of burn, basically, I mean, that's what I'm looking for, is a little bit burnt. And I can smell, I know you can't smell it, but I can smell like a burning, an actual burning, and that's what I'm really looking for. Yeah. Can you see what I'm talking about? You can tell they're all burned, pretty much. And you can see that that one started to split open. So see how squishy it is? There you go. See how squishy those are? That's what I'm looking for right there. Feel like that. Let me go a little longer. I'm going to turn that heat down just a little bit again. Okay, I've got a crisp on, cooking. I might need to go a little bit. I think I'm going to let those couple go just a little bit longer. I want to make sure they're all completely done and really nice and smushy so that I can separate them out away from the meat and pull all the meat out and then just mix it when I go to, then they'll have to cool, and then I'll be ready to start letting them come together to make the delicious dip. Okay, so what I'm doing here is peeling back any of the rind or anything like that, and I'm just gonna like peel it off basically, and then I want to get what's on the inside out, something here that I can scrape with. You can see I'm just scraping all of that goo out of there, all the gooey good stuff out of there. And that's the goal. You're just scraping the guts out. Some of these bigger chunks in here probably should have been cooked just a little bit longer. Just want to make sure you have a nice goo there. I'm throwing all the peels over for my chickens so my chickens can get that later. They will be joyful to have that, or very least, it goes in, it ends up composted. Pull back the peel on it. These tops come off really pretty easily. You might even cut them open with a knife, and you're basically just opening up the balloon and pulling out the guts. Try to get as much as you can because you want to make sure that you've got plenty of meat when you go to add in all of these other ingredients. So, this is definitely a use your finger task, use your hands task. I'm just peeling off, you see? Peeling off all that goodness. Pulling off the peel, throwing it out. Making sure, sometimes it's just even that simple. It's just like peel the peel back and it'll just come right off. Hot, hot, hot. Ooh wee, that's hot. Pull the peel out. If you see any of that purple peel in there, get that out. You don't want that in there. It's like a deflated balloon, but you're taking the guts out of the deflated balloon. That's it. I'm just working to get all of these turned into mush and get all the peels off of them. That's what I'm working on here. I have all the different vegetables growing in my backyard so that I can get the nutrients from all the different vegetables, because each different thing with different colors carries a different type of nutritional value for my system. And one of the things that I've learned is that plants actually put off certain kinds of chemicals and hormones and things to protect themselves just like we do. And so the more that we eat those types of nutrients, the more our body can help fight off things as well. And want to make sure that we're doing that particularly right now. Eggplant is actually really easy to grow where we're at. It can grow kind of year round here. You just have to make sure that you have the plant well established during the winter time in case of any like freeze type of situation or anything like that. It's really good to have different varieties of eggplant available to use. Another name you might have heard eggplant called is aubergine. And I actually like to go with the lighter skins. I like the long Japanese, the ones that are longer, you know, like a long one like this. I like the lighter skin ones. I think they tend to be less bitter. And there's a lot of different varieties of eggplants. Like most of the eggplant that we know, or we're pretty like accustomed to knowing, is the big round, big purple eggplant. And it's often called the black beauty. It's so dark purple that it's almost black. And while that's a good eggplant, that's certainly great for using to make like eggplant parmesan and things like that, it can be a little bit bitter. So I like to use the lighter skins, the ones that are kind of stripy or light purple or white. I've seen orange, red. In America, we don't have a ton of knowledge about eggplant. Share information about different vegetables that grow well in our region is to figure out different ways to use them. But when you've got it in your own backyard, you learn to make it yourself. Okay, so I've got all of that eggplant in here. Just getting it really, really good and mashed up. I have done before the Vitamix before, but I don't really think it's needed in that I like it a little bit chunkier than that, and there's just not that much of it, and I don't want it to get stuck in the Vitamix, and then I won't be able to get it out. Okay, so I love this fancy little tool here. This is another one of those little Pampered Chef things, and I really like it a lot when I'm wanting to quickly mince some garlic. So I'm using a little extra garlic than what the recipe originally calls for because I love garlic and it helps to keep the mosquitoes off. And we just had a lot of rain and it's summer, the mosquitoes are around. So extra garlic, it's also good for viruses. Fresh garlic is good for virus. This is that tahini, which is the sesame butter, almost like peanut butter, but sesame seed instead of peanuts. I'm gonna add that in there. I'm gonna add the lemon juice. That was 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. That was a 1/4 cup of tahini or sesame butter. And this is my olive oil. I'm not gonna use all of what's in here. This was 1/3 cup, but I'm gonna use a little less than that because I'm not sure that I need it all. Oh yeah, this is coming together nicely. Okay, I want to add my cumin powder. I'm going to add some parsley flakes. Add a touch of paprika. I'm going to add paprika for decoration in a little bit as well. I want to add some salt, just a pinch. Okay, now that I've gotten it all pretty well nice and stirred up, you can see it's actually pretty mushy. I'm gonna add a little bit more paprika. And I also think I want a little bit more lemon juice. And when you go to make this up to like serve it, you can also take and put a little bit of lemon, paprika, and parsley on top for decoration. Alrighty, so I put it in this nice little dish here, and what I can do is take a spoon and kind of hollow out the center a little bit like that. That's how they do it in the restaurant. They kind of like hollow out the center. Okay, so I put a little bit of olive oil in that little hole right there, and then I can put a little bit of lemon juice in that hole as well. Sprinkle some parsley for decoration, some paprika. So I'm just gonna throw this in the refrigerator and then it'll be ready to eat. And of course you can use pita bread or other grain-free option, chips types of things. You can use carrots, you could use cucumbers. There's all different kinds of things. Bell peppers, so there's lots of bell peppers in season right now. And that's how you've seen it served at the restaurant, with a little bit of lemon, oil, parsley, and paprika right there on top. I hope you'll give Baba Ganoush a try, and I also hope that you will give growing eggplant a try. And if you ever have any questions about growing eggplant, I'm a gal that can help you out with that. I hope that you will help me out by subscribing to my YouTube channel, where I have the opportunity to teach and to give more information about different ways to use all those great vegetables coming out of your backyard and how you can grow more vegetables as well. See you soon. Bye.